Thank you. And thank you for attending virtually and for the people that are here. And at this time, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Sarah, can you do the roll call?
Ms. Hamilton,
Present.
Mrs. Simonetti, Ms. Williams, Mr. Dobies, Ms. Sharp,
Here.
Mr. Reddy,
Here.
Ms. Acton.
Here. Agenda item number 4, approval of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the agenda with the amendment of moving action item 252662 superintendent evaluation process to the last item under discussion items.
Do I have support?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, so this, I think superintendent evaluation was a discussion item last month, and it follows through that it would be an action item this month, so can I ask why? You want to move it?
Yes, thank you. So there are two things. Last month, we did have the process, and so that was something that was part of the confusion. We could approve the process, but the superintendent goals are different. And so this is the first time you're seeing the goals that are included in that portion. And so I didn't want to approve the process with the goals being in there. I wanted some feedback tonight on the goals, but I think we're good on the process because I think there was minimum discussion last month. Thank you.
Any other deliberation? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries. Oh, sorry. Agenda number 5, superintendent's report. Sorry.
Thank you, President Acton and Board of Trustees, Jackson Public Schools, and the community. We have a couple guests here this evening. So we have Chef Brian with us and also Brant Russell from Taher Foods. And this is our group that serves our children and some fantastic items on a regular basis. And we always whip up something special. So I think we've got a special presentation. So thank you for being here with us and visiting Chef Brian and Brant. and we enjoy having you. So thank you so much for all you do for Jackson Public Schools and serving our students and bringing excitement to and educational experiences to the classroom. Thank you, Taher Incorporated. Next, I want to recognize multiple individuals on our Board of Education for the recognition from Michigan Association of School Boards. We have many awards in different levels, and I'll try to explain them. If I miss anybody, please let me know. We have Elena Sharp, Level 1 Certified Board Member. Marilyn Acton, Certified Board Member, Level 1, demonstrates all 100 level CBA classes, 101 through 109. We have Elena Sharp, Award Merit Level 2, Marilyn Acton, Level 2, which demonstrates completed Level 1 and 45 educational credits. And then we have Marilyn Acton, Award of Distinction, Level 3, completion of Level 1 and 2, total of 4 advanced CBA classes and a minimum of 208 educational credits. And then Level 4, Master Board Member Award, Cheryl Simonetti and Shalonda Hunt from 2025. Level 4, completed of 1, 2, and 3, total of 9 advanced CBA classes and a minimum of 360 educational credits. So I think this just speaks to the level of importance that they take their role in learning and growing in this capacity. And we thank you for these 2025 Individual Board Award for Jackson Public Schools. Let's give them a hand, please. That's going to tie into one of our discussion items about how we'll have continued opportunities for our board to participate in that coursework. So finally, I shared my board update this morning for the month of February and mentioned a couple Black History Month activities. So I just want to say happy Black History Month for the month of February. I'm inviting the Board of Education to our 9th annual celebration of academic excellence at middle school at Parkside. And so this has been around for 9 years. And there's also other opportunities at Jackson High School that I shared and throughout the district. So I appreciate our educators in helping to spread a lot of great information to our young people, especially during Black History Month. And our goal is to involve families and community in these opportunities as well. So if you have any further questions about that, I wrote in the board update. You can just reach out and let me know if you're interested and or available. So at this time, unless there's any further questions or discussion, this concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Jeremy. Item number 6, consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Any deliberation? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. Hearing none, motion carries. Item number 7, citizens requesting to address the board. Okay, we don't have any, so we will move on to discussion item number 8, which is me. So there is the Michigan Association of School Boards Spring Institute, and I just want to encourage our board members. It's in person, it's in Lansing, but it's a really great opportunity to connect with other board members and to network, to find out what works for other districts, what doesn't work. And so I found it a great opportunity when I have gone to these meetings. And so this one's up in May, it's May 1st. And so I'm just going to encourage you to go. And obviously you've heard, a lot of us have taken the courses. And also I just want to make sure that everyone knows that once a year there's an annual leadership conference. And we choose delegates, voting members, delegates, because what happens is we vote on resolutions at the Michigan Association of School Boards. So there's lots of opportunities for growth. And some of the, there's just a lot of great information with these workshops. There's parliamentary procedure, which is so important because we really adhere to that here. just basic school finance, governing through policy, just CPA 101, fundamentals of school board office. So I know when I came on board, I really wasn't sure what I was supposed to be doing, and these courses really, really helped me navigate through it. So I just wanted to really hype these things up for you to get involved with. So, and that's all. Do I have any questions? Okay. So discussion item 252655, bond change order approval. I'm turning this over to Marcus.
All right, good evening, everyone. In the last bond program, the board had approved administration to make or to authorize approval of change orders higher than the normal threshold that we would bring steps to the board, and that's mostly to alleviate work stoppages and things like that, so we can keep projects moving. The limit last time was set at $75,000. And then for context, I think since I've been here, I think we used it once. So it really doesn't come into play all that much, but it does give us the authority to be able to approve those orders and keep the work flowing. So again, we're not recommending anything at this meeting, just bring it up for discussion, and we'll ask for approval next month to set that same limit of $75,000.
Any questions? Hearing none, we will move on to item 252656, board policy for compensation. So this is something that I've been tossing around for the last year or so. It was the former president and myself talked about it. A lot of school boards do compensate, the school districts compensate school board members to attend a meeting. And so I just wanted to have this open for discussion. It's just discussion, it's optional. I know a lot of school districts, it's optional if they want to take it or not, but I just wanted, a lot of school districts do get board members do get compensated. So I just wanted everyone to know that, we do have a policy that was adopted July 12th of 2015 to get paid $30 per meeting. So I just wanted to open it up to see what everyone thinks.
So I'll say it's been on the record at least since 2015. We've never acted on it. Personally, I think it would be pretty hypocritical of us to deny staff cost of living raises, to deny extra duty pay, and then ask the district to pay board members to attend meetings that we knew were voluntary when we sat in these seats. So I don't like the idea at all. I'm rather embarrassed that we might ask the district to pay us to come to a meeting. So if this comes back for action, I definitely would be a solid no on this.
Seeing no further discussion, we will move on to item number 252657, Committee of the Whole. So I've thought about this quite a bit too. So the definition of Committee of the Whole in the context of school boards allows all board members to participate in discussions and decision-making as a single group rather than in smaller committees. This approach can enhance collaboration and ensure that all perspectives are considered in the decision-making process. And because I've been networking with a lot of other school board members, they have done this and they have said it really works and that it's something that I would really like to consider. And so I'm going to open this up for discussion also.
So, I've also advocated for a committee of the whole. My concern would be, ensuring that the time that we set it at is the time that all board members can come. So if we're setting it at an evening time around 6 o'clock, or even a weekend, which I could do, and as long as it's not during the day, I think it's important if we're gonna do a committee of the whole, that, we ensure that, board members that wanna be there can be there by, accommodating the time. As mentioned, weekends are something that I'm, open to, and then also at least 6, no earlier than 6 in the evening. And no Fridays.
So I know this has been on the table for discussion in the past, and it never got approved or went any further, but I do think that we need some clarification on what is involved, what are the expectations? Is this a meeting where we have to have quorum? And then tying it into the previous discussion item, there's potential then that we're going to ask the district to pay board members for 2 meetings a month instead of 1 meeting a month. Those are my concerns.
Um, if I might answer some of those questions, if we establish a committee of the whole and its membership is all of us, it would be subject to the Open Meetings Act, so we'd have to properly post it. If there were actions being taken, then yeah, it would be subject to the same quorum stipulations of needing to have a certain amount there. That doesn't necessarily mean we can't meet in a specific place and talk without the ability to actually vote on recommendations up to the full body. But if we're taking any sort of action, then it would be quorum. I'll say that I had an opportunity to talk to President Acton earlier, and I thought that there could be some utility in this, particularly in a more like casual setting where we're able to kind of talk about some of the policy priorities that we may want to pursue, talk about some of the maybe the building improvements. But I also think that it's an opportunity for us to maybe get the board out of this room and into the schools and use the committee of the whole to be able to, 12 months a year, if we're doing it monthly, whatever the frequency is, having those doesn't necessarily need to be broadcast anywhere. It just needs to be open to the public. So we could go and kind of tour around the different schools with the district and incorporate some sort of tour. I know a lot of us already are doing those, but I think it means something and says something to those schools when we show up to their door and they're able to talk to all of us at the same time about some of the cool things that they're doing in those buildings, meet some of the incredible staff that we have, and kind of get out of the more formal board meetings here. I would find that incredibly valuable, and I think maybe some of the principals and staff within those buildings might find that interesting as well.
Yeah, after being on the school board for, this is the 6th year for me, I'll be ending this year, and talking to board members from across the nation, California to New Jersey, down south and up north. I've talked to a lot of school boards who have committee of the whole, and it's treated like a work group, where the intention of it is to have discussion. The idea is that it is a relaxed atmosphere. Robert's rules are relaxed because, again, it's more of a work group than an actual session. No voting is done generally in committee of the whole meetings because the idea is for the board to be able to discuss fully an idea, an item, agenda item or whatever, so that then when they come back to the school board meeting, the actual official one, the meeting is quicker versus having a longer discussion. So that's what most school board members that I have talked to, literally from across the nation for the past almost 6 years, that's how they design their committee of the whole. So a suggestion would be that if we bring this back, which again, I'm in support of it as long as it's, it accommodates us all, that we get the proper structure, and that we know what our latitude is and isn't, even if we're required to list it as a meeting for people to come to, understanding that the space that we're in that moment, it does not require that we vote. It does not require that, like the requirements versus whatever. As long as we are aware of those, I think then we should pursue it. But again, we have not, I've talked to numerous board members for the past 5 years, and us being required to vote, because we meet in other spaces, 4 or more of us at a time, and we don't list that as a meeting, because we can do that at different times. So just clarifying for us, what latitude we have, so that we can know what that meeting can look like, and what we have or, have to or don't have to do, so that we can actually fulfill the purpose of that meeting.
Just a clarifying question. You said that we meet 4 more at different parts of time. Were you talking about our committees now?
Sorry, repeat that.
You said something about how 4 or more of us are getting together at different parts of time. Are you talking about the current committees?
No, we're just in spaces together, some of us 4 or more at a time.
Any more discussion? Okay, we will move on to discussion item 252658, and I'm turning this over to Derek, who will present.
Thank you, Madam President. I did put a cover memo on the resolution, so hopefully everyone had a chance to read through that, so I can save some words here and save some time for everybody. But Public Act 257 and 258 passed in 2024. Those were policies at the state level that were geared towards educating the public about gun safety and safe storage laws. And with some of the recent policies around safe storage that were passed in Lansing, legislatures saw fit to pass these 2 acts that one directs the, I believe, Department of Health and Human Services to create a flyer in a couple of different language about the recent gun laws and gun safe storage laws. And the second being the requirement for public school districts to post those to their website and distribute those either electronically or via mail. We, thanks to the superintendent, have complied with both of those. And I know we've done with the superintendent's leadership, done a number of other things to engage in gun safety and group violence intervention, working in partnership with the city. I think working with some of the partners over the past couple of years, what I've learned and what I think is important and what this resolution calls for is our ability or our interest in taking that form and having that form distributed home with students so that they can help educate their parents and hopefully with that education more individuals are complying with the law, frankly, safely storing their guns and hopefully producing or preventing a tragedy here in the district. So the resolution, I think, calls that out on The second page, that we are directing those notices to be not only posted, but distributed to the parents, and that it also goes on to talk about some other things that we can do as a district that wants to keep our students and educators safe around gun safety, including all the things that we do now. And there is, I think I wrote in the memo, the Department of Education through the school aid budget is granting local districts, I think they appropriated, $10 million in community gun or community violence intervention grants for districts. We're able to sat on a webinar and have already talked to the city, but am interested in us potentially pursuing that and seeing what we can do beyond what we've already done, what we can do with this resolution to really curtail some of the gun violence that we have in our community and keep our students and educators safe.
Thank you, Derek, for your work on this. I think that anything we can do to help keep kids and families safe, I don't know why it would even be a question of whether or not we want to pursue this. And I can't find it as I'm scrolling here, but my only question was the rollout for sending the form home for a signature that then has to be returned. So what does that process look like, and how do we assure that happens?
I think that that would probably be left up to the superintendent to implement. Just with my own daughter, I signed multiple things coming home from tests to different policies. So I think it would be something that the superintendent could work with the administration to implement.
Yeah, there are other items that get sent home that we have a kind of checks and balance process to ensure we know who's completed it and who has not. So I see this as being very similar to other forms that we are in compliance with, and I didn't see anything that it's like mandatory. So if somebody didn't, there doesn't appear to be any consequence, just being proactive on the part of the district to do as much information as possible, but more than just set it on the website and hope that it gets into the hands. So being more intentional on knowing the number of people that we have reached.
So I did find it, and it says, that it's sent home with the student in a hard copy form with a requirement that a parent or legal guardian sign and return written acknowledgement. So what do we do today with things that don't get returned?
Give your best effort each and every time out. And I'll use an example. It's required that we have birth certificates when people are in school, and some people just don't have them. And so we make every good faith effort to get that because it's required by law. And we do everything that we can to ensure that we have 100%. And so I see this as being something similar, that this is safety is all of our responsibility. And so we're doing our part on communicating out to our families, and we're just asking them to be a part of that process. But again, I don't think this is anything where there would be any further consequences if someone didn't return a piece of paper that said they were informed.
So what are we currently doing? Do we just put it, is it just the website that we're currently doing? What are we currently doing? That, what are we doing? And then we'll.
Yeah, we set it on our website, and then we also send an email communication. And so we can be certain some people might go looking for it because one community member reached out. They were actually seeking it out. And so now it's on our website. And the second thing that we did, which I think Derek captured in that communication, is the time and date in which the district sent that out via email and said, if you have any further questions, here's a point of contact in the district.
So we're currently We have it on our website, and then we're sending it out by email. And what this is asking us to do is to send it out in hard copy and then request a signature back. And if no signatures are received, there are no negative ramifications for our children. I'm correct in that?
That's what I'm understanding.
I could support it for that reason, if it's, no negative ramification for our babies. Sorry, one more thing. Because this is law, again, specifically because it's law, it's, comfortable for me. Thanks.
Yeah, I would add the only additional thing is like, how do we partner with different community resources? I think there was another layer to this. I know we have some young people that are taking a leadership role, and I would suspect that they might want to take some leadership opportunities in partnering with other community initiatives. I know we do some educational sessions from time to time, but I could see staff and students wanting to take more of a leadership role. And I think that if the district were to pursue some additional resources, there will be more opportunities to bring education to the classroom or field learning experiences. I think that was another portion of this.
Question for you around that. These pursuit of additional resources, that's something at the board and administration level? Is that something that our teachers will be required to do? Do we know anything about that right now? And if it's a part of this resolution, I think it might be important to understand what that looks like, the burden of that, who it's on, with regard to that. So do we know? We have an idea?
Just what I'm reading here. So, the grant request to the district. So I'm sure my office would be responsible for applying for this grant opportunities. There's no guarantees that we're going to get it. And then that would just, so I can't tell you what the rollout process of that looks. I don't know how extensive it might be, how much resources we might receive, but it would, I'm imagining this is more of a secondary effort around gun violence than elementary. So that's probably more along the lines of what I do as superintendent / secondary curriculum director.
Okay, it's because it's what I think I'm hearing you answer to my question. I think the answer that you're saying is that this would be something that your office, for the most part, would handle, not something that our teachers would be burdened with, like another responsibility for them. It'd be central office mostly. So I'm not asking about the rollout and how much money we get. I know you can't know that, but the whole process of it, applying, getting the data, that's something that your office more so would handle.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Further, I think that as we pursue that grant and explore community partnerships, that those partnerships can be leveraged to take on some of the responsibility of applying for the grant. Just naturally, like we're going to have some of those partners on the grant. So, and some of those entities have like dedicated grant writers and stuff. So,
Can I add something real quickly? One of our wonderful principals in the audience kind of pointed out that we have something that we've already put in place in our enrollment packets that is similar. There's concussion paperwork, and it is meant to make people aware, make parents aware of what a concussion looks like and what to do in a situation where a student has been hit in the head. And then parents sign that they've read it and that they've received that information. So it goes in each of the enrollment packets. So we already have something in the form of the enrollment packet. We already have a process that we could potentially utilize for that. And I thought that was a great comment. Thank you, Sarah Ludwig.
and what if I don't sign the concussion packet?
Well, we're assuming that you're seeing it. And I will say also, we've had situations where we will pull that piece of paperwork out when a student gets hit in the head for any reason and make sure that that goes home with a parent. So just something, there's sort of an avenue, there's already a pathway that is not a super, it's a time efficient kind of way of making people aware without adding an extra burden to people. So
I have one more comment to that. So I have, my sons have played basketball and sports here at J High and middle school, I think. And when I read that concussion paperwork, I thought he couldn't play if I didn't sign it. So, now I'm rather intelligent, rather, I'm teasing you. But anyways, though, just so we know that And to the point of this document, if we're sending it out, again, I did read it as he cannot play if I don't sign this paperwork. Now, he was gonna play and I was gonna sign, wasn't an issue. But I don't want our parents feeling like, however we put the wording in there, that there's some type of negative ramification for your child if you don't sign. Clearly, safety and all the things is not the issue here as far as whatever. But I don't want us the messaging to come across as if something's going to happen to the child if we, so if they don't get to go to recess, whatever. So just when we send it out, however we do it, if the messaging is clear that, this is strictly for informational purposes, for us to keep each other safe, whatever, and we would appreciate your signature, something along that line, I think would be beneficial. Because I did think he had to sign, and I signed every one of them,
Thank you, Derek, for spearheading that. I appreciate how well it was written. Thanks so much for doing all the research, too. Appreciate it. Discussion item 252659, elementary technology purchase. I'm turning this over to Marcus.
All right, so the district is looking to move our elementary technology from a one-to-one model back to classroom technology carts, which is what the district was using prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. We found that there really isn't a big need for devices to be used at home on a daily basis, and we've seen a lot of broken and missing devices, which takes away from district resources such as time and money that could be directed elsewhere. So we're looking to purchase 13 Chromebook carts and 7 iPad carts, which would give us a cart in every classroom in every elementary building, and I believe an extra one for loaners. I didn't put the cost. This is the price is $30,425, and they can be purchased through the state REMC cooperative and funded with our 2026 bond proceeds. So again, we're not recommending any action tonight, but we'll be coming back next month to look for an approval.
Did you say it'll go through the bond? Okay. All right. Any questions?
Yeah, so you said 13 carts plus 7 carts covers every elementary classroom?
Yep, so we do have carts in the district right now. So this, we had technology, did a survey of how many carts we have, how many classrooms we have at all the buildings, and just came up with that math. I believe grades K through 2 use iPads and 3, 4, 5 use Chromebooks, so the different types.
So for me, I'm totally in favor of this, and even more so than the cost of devices is the impact on kids. And we see so much out there about kids and devices and having them in their homes and nobody knows what they're doing on them. My own daughter has young kids and she's preparing to send them to school and she's looking for a traditional school. So I kind of hope we're going back to textbooks and pen and paper in conjunction with this, and that we're only using these carts for certain things. So I like it.
I just had one question about, so if they have a cart for their classroom, is that still enough for every student to have a device if a teacher is planning on running something with, so it's not
Yes.
fewer?
Yes, there's enough
devices,
spaces
if
in
they
the
wanna
carts
do
for every
something.
student in the classrooms. Yep.
Thanks.
I got one last question. So let's assume there's a kid, who got some work to do. Are they able to get teachers' permission to take it home, or no at all going forward?
I suppose that probably could be arranged.
Okay.
I'll have to
Just
flesh that
curious.
stuff out.
Yep.
Our past practice before we were a one-to-one district was kind of like the library, sign out the device. And so that if we decide that everyone does not take them home, then that would be the process.
Any more discussion? We will move to discussion.
Can I,
go
so, I'm
ahead.
sorry, I don't have discussion on that item, but I would like to say, as far as this whole, for the board policy for compensation, not hearing any other comments and any support for that, I would make a motion that we let this item die and not bring it back next month for action.
Support.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor
So, yeah,
say
some
aye.
discussion.
Oh,
We're moving fast tonight. Good. So, I knew it was gonna, or I thought it was coming back next month, so I figured I would, talk about it then. My thoughts on this board policy for compensation, I agree with Marilyn. I know you don't hear me say that very often, but I agree with Marilyn that, if we're compensating, if we're not going out of our way to compensate our teachers, and maybe Marilyn didn't say that, I don't know, it sounded like she did. But if we're not going out of our way to give more to our teachers, to ensure that they have what they need in the classroom, and all the things, I think about our teachers all the time and our students that they are training and teaching. Since we don't go out of our way, because I'm constantly hearing how they need things, I would not feel comfortable compensating the board. I don't devalue the work that the board does. I think if you're a committed board member and you're putting in the time to understand the work of this governing body and all the things that go into it, then I think that compensation is appropriate. But again, because we in this board or in this district, I hear too often some of the needs of our teachers that I think are inappropriate for a district this size. So for that reason, I would not be in favor of voting for the board to be compensated. Thank you.
So I think one of the reasons I even brought it up, I just wanted to be transparent. I wanted to let everyone here know that some boards do get compensated, and I just wanted them to know. And so I'm not like withholding information or something just because I network with more people. And so that's kind of my reasoning also. Any other deliberation? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. No. Motion carries. The next item to discuss is 25-26-62 Superintendent Evaluation Process. And I'll turn this over to Jeremy.
Thank you, President Acton. So I haven't been here too long in this seat, so it seems like in June we adopted the first superintendent evaluation goals. So these are quite similar. My evaluation took place December 2025, so I bring this back probably about 6 months later, revised this month. We're going to do a mid-year check-in per our discussion last month. That's required by law to have some feedback in writing. So that would be the July board meeting with the final evaluation taking place in December. So similar to last year, 15% of the evaluation of the superintendent is district-wide goals. 3% is improving student attendance. So I don't have any recommendations that changes at this time. 2% improving, the board has communicated on a number of times that they want to be in the schools and hearing from our student leadership groups. We have some phenomenal student voice groups and leadership groups that with 3 or less folks, it is during the day, many of these meetings, so that's part of the challenge, but there are evening opportunities as well, and I'll be sending out those invitations here shortly on goal number 2. Where it changes a little bit, my last goal was there was a lot of components in passing the bond, and now that we've passed the bond, this talks about what does the successful execution of the bond look like. And so I'm looking for your feedback in that area because that is a little bit newer. And also goal 4, the strategic plan. My last goal was successfully exiting the partnership agreement. And since we've done that, we want to continue that vision and that work. And the board had a strong desire for a strategic plan. And the majority of the year will be developing the plan. So we won't see a full year of implementation, but a lot of this district strategy plan is the process to get to the plan, and then we'll continue to revisit the effectiveness. And the student growth and assessment hasn't changed. I always talk about this is the principal's goal, so therefore it becomes my goal, and it's the teacher's goal. So that's how they're evaluated using data in our schools. And that is the superintendent evaluation in a nutshell. So I wanted this to be a discussion item this month so I could receive any feedback from you, make any changes, and then bring it back for approval next month or action.
I have a question for you. Just for clarification, am I hearing you say that these goals that you have listed right now, these will be the goals that we will evaluate you on in November? Is that correct?
December, yes.
December? Okay. And the strategic plan that we're currently in the midst of, is that something that we anticipate rolling out next year? Or is there some expectation that your goals will work within that some, or is there anything around that?
So about 50% of this goal is just developing the strategic plan. And so if you click on the link, it'll talk about all those kind of measurables, all those important dates. So we did the survey and we had the in-person meetings. And so some of those things have already taken place, and we won't get to board approval until like May or June. And so you won't really see this implemented for like when teachers come back August, September, October, November. So it won't be finalized in December, but you'll have seen the body of work from didn't have a strategic plan to having a strategic plan. And then I will be providing artifacts in December about how that process is going. And then my understanding is this is something that can be, the strategic plan can be tweaked and reevaluated annually.
So forgive me, and thank you, that's helpful, but I think the direction I was going in, I understand that the strategic plan is part of your goals, but I didn't know if what comes out of the strategic plan, like the listening sessions and stuff and the trends that we're hearing, if that would change your other goals, and if we needed to be aware of that because of November. But I think you're saying basically that whatever kind of comes out of that, that could be a one tweaked later on. I'm just trying to see how is that going to impact, if at all, your evaluation based on kind of like this, not the, so the strategic plan is part of your goals.
Mhm.
I get it. But what comes out of the strategic plan, in my mind, it connects to your goals. Like your goals should connect to the strategic plan at some point.
Yes, and that's what you would evaluate. This 5% of my goal is how did I do connecting to the district goals? So my other goals won't change. For example, student attendance, chronic absenteeism, those goals won't change, but you're going to be looking at how did I connect the district goals, academic goals, student retention goals. Those are some of our past goals from our partnership. And how did we do, I guess, this is not the Jeremy Patterson plan, but that's part of the process. And I will have to explain that to you about how we determine collectively as a community how that became the strategic plan of the district, and how am I helping to execute that plan and vision as a result of the community feedback, staff feedback, student feedback.
Thank you. One more question for you. The strategic plan, what's the timeline of when we think that it'll kind of be, wrapped up and we, so all of our meetings and things that we do, what's the timeline for that?
We're going to present to the Board of Education in May. And so I don't know if we're going to bring it for a discussion and then an action in June. That's how I'm perceiving it to be today.
And we have some meetings with the board itself planned around the strategic plan before that
Yes, that'll be
presentation?
in
Okay.
April. The board has been invited to that strategic planning session.
Yeah, that makes sense. Since we're the board, we should probably have some part
That's
in that
right.
conversation. So when we have that conversation, then I'll probably have some questions around your goals to just kind of help my mind. But thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson, for putting this together and amending it and bringing it back as a discussion item. The only other thing that I would maybe offer or lay on the table for consideration, and I'm just thinking through like student growth and assessment is related to our growth and performance, professional practice. We've gone through that as a board before. And then we have the bond, the strategic plan, and then chronic absenteeism and student engagement. Are there, have we ever had goals set around student growth, or rather enrollment growth? Because that to me seems like a good district-wide goal of, as we're renovating our buildings, as we're, like we just did with John R., building new buildings, how we're starting to, I'm sure it'll come out in the strategic plan, and maybe at that time we can kind of incorporate it. But I think in some of the numbers that I've looked at, this district, of all the districts in Jackson County, save, I think, Grass Lake, has seen enrollment grow over the last, I think I looked at the last decade, while others have shrank, and some over the last decade have like been cut in half. So I think that there's, because we do a great job, because this community continues to invest in JPS, we see that through the bond, through the recreation millage, and through various other things that we do as a district. I think it might make sense for us to take a look at enrollment growth as a goal, and kind of task you with figuring out how we can, recruit more students to JPS in, strategic ways.
I agree without a doubt that student retention, just like staff retention, was a part of our district improvement plan. I shared that whole plan of those 14 benchmarks so they can continue to be a part of the strategic plan. Matter of fact, earlier today, we were working on the district improvement team, and that was one of the items where we were talking about what are the non-negotiable practices that we're going to do at elementary, middle school, high school, all JPS to ensure, maximum retention efforts. And so this is what we're going to do collectively. So that's what we were working on today. That was a goal item in our partnership agreement that I strongly recommend becomes part of our strategic plan.
I appreciate retention. I'm also interested in retention, but also on growth as well. Recruitment.
Understood. Thank you.
Any more questions? We will move on to agenda item number 9, 2660 E-rate projects, and I'm turning this back over to Marcus.
All right, and we talked about this a little briefly last month and also at finance. So as we kick off our bond program, the district is looking to upgrade some network switches and battery backups. We're able to utilize a federal reimbursement program called E-rate, which will reimburse the district 85 cents on the dollar for this project. So we put a bid out, and I think last month we discussed that we were still vetting the companies and asking clarifying questions. At this time, we recommend awarding the bid to All Covered in the amount of $357,742. It's a little different than what you see on your bid tally sheet. After speaking with All Covered and had questions about their labor rates, they went back and revised those down. This will be a project that is paid for from the bond, and then next year we'll be reimbursed for a majority of that. So the total impact to the bond will be about $54,000 when it's all said and done.
Do I have a motion to approve? Do I have support? Any deliberation? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries. Agenda item 252661, approval of annual retainer contract. Jeremy will present this item.
Yeah, so this is an item that the board asked me to bring more information back. If they were going to make this determination, then they actually wanted to see the contract, which was sent after last month's board meeting. And I also sent, since I've been here the last 6 months, the work that the district has done with Brendan Beer and their group. So hopefully that was able to provide some ideas of the work has been done as well as the contract.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Madam
So
Chair.
moved.
Okay.
Support? Any deliberation?
Yes. Uh-oh, did you have your thing open to Eric? So I'll be a no on this vote. I voted no on them every year so far, after the first year. I feel like they're firm. They've been with us for a very, very, very long time, which I find some value in longevity, you know, and kind of understanding the district. And I also find that there can be some complacency and just some complacency there as well. So I don't feel that they're the best individuals to continue to represent the district. I think we should look around and consider others. So I'll be a no on them.
I would like to amend the motion. I know that we had to just, coming off of some of the things that Trustee Hamilton said and some of the things that Trustee Simonetti said last meeting. We do need a legal counsel. I do believe that with most of the boards that I've served on, there is a probably 3 to 5 year shelf life on contracts, particularly with legal counsels and auditors, just so that you can not necessarily change the ship, but you put out an RFP so that you continue to show transparency, good governance, and that you are getting a good return for taxpayer dollars or investor dollars or whatever your funding source is. So I kind of see this, the agreement in front of us is from November of 2013. I would say that's probably ripe for, without, discussing the current firm that we use. I just think that it's probably a good moment in time to put on an RFP for this. And if Abbott, Thompson, Malden, Parker, and Beer is the only response that we get, then we continue on with a new contract. And it at least allows us to evaluate what else is out there and make sure that we're getting a good return and good services for the district. So I would make a motion to amend the approval of the retainer agreement through June of 2026, so through this fiscal year, and ask the administration superintendent to post an RFP for legal services with the intent of us evaluating those proposals at our July meeting, which then we would be able to start the next calendar year.
Let me just make sure I understand. I think I understand. I think we had a motion and support and then an additional motion. And part of the discussion that I recall from last month, and I don't have the answer today, so that's why I want to just share what I'm thinking is this firm going to be available for just a 6-month contract, or is this a year contract that they've been deciding up until this point? And my concern is partially because we're entering contract negotiations, and that's one of the items that are on our docket. And so if the board is going to entertain an RFP, I might propose out to 2027, so we can at least get through all things, because right in the middle of 26, it's going to be very difficult to finalize contracts, because we have 3 that are going to expire that we've already started, and that would be my concern. And so my proposal, I hear the go out for RFVP, but I would ask to extend that through 26 so that we can bring back to the board for 27, specifically because of the biggest rock out there, I think, is the contract negotiation contracts out there.
When do those?
The contracts expire June 30th. And so assuming that, we'll have an agreement in place, I don't want to make that assumption today.
Yeah. To my understanding, this retention agreement is in perpetuity and does not expire. So, I mean, at least for once we, I guess, I see your point. I guess I'm a little bit confused between the designation of the legal counsel and that this has been our agreement that doesn't have a termination clause outside of any party can terminate within 30 days of advance notice. So, but if it's about making sure that we have counsel through the collective bargaining process, and we have the ability to end this retention agreement within 30 days, I guess then we can post through, approve the Brendan Beer as our legal counsel through December 2026 and ask to post for an RFP for legal services by the end of this year, or so that we can review those by the end of this year.
That sounds good. But I don't know if we would need an amended motion to do that. I think that was the current motion, if I'm correct.
I would agree. I think you just go with the original motion to approve them, and since you have 30-day window at any point in time, I don't see why we have to set a date, and then as a separate item, we can request an RFP.
Gotcha. Wasn't seconded.
Any more discussion?
Yes, that's my understanding. If you want to restate, the original motion is to that Brendan Beer, the law firm of Abbott, Thompson, Malden, Parker, and Beer, shall continue as legal counsel for the 26 calendar year. Is the approval, was motion and supported, I believe.
Any more deliberation?
I'll be voting no on this. I know I've raised the fact that we should be last year putting this through an RFP process, and look forward to addressing that in the future.
And one other thing, just as discussion, I think in an effort to improve our own processes, we get our board agenda not a full week before, but we get it the week prior to our meeting. And I think that if we see something that we want more information on, it would behoove us to ask for that contract prior to the meeting. I mean, we've already lost a whole month. And had we asked for that contract prior to the January meeting, knowing that it was on the agenda, we could be 1 month further ahead, rather than wait to the actual meeting and ask for the contract. I think that we have an opportunity to ask for that information in advance.
Any more deliberation? Roll call, okay, we'll do a roll call.
Ms. Hamilton,
No. No.
Mrs. Simonetti, Ms. Williams,
No.
Mr. Dobies, Ms. Sharp, Mr. Reddy, Ms. Acton.
Yes.
Madam President,
Motion carries. I thought we were here. Am I just totally losing it? Are we still here? We've already done that. We did that? Oh, thank you. I'm just losing it.
Madam President, I'd like to make another motion to, separate from that, to request that the superintendent engage in a RFP process for legal services.
Do I have support? Is that a motion?
Yep, we have a legal counsel now through this year, and I think it's important that we also decide that we're going to go through an RFP process. We've been approving the current legal counsel since I've been here, and it appears probably since 2013, and I think it's good for us to indicate that we will, again, everything that I said before, go through a process, ensure that we're getting the best value and best value for taxpayers, and that's it.
Do I have support? Any deliberation? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries. Agenda item 10, board comments.
Happy Black History Month, folks. Nelson Mandela said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world," which is why education has always been under attack. He didn't say that part, I added that part. And also why the responsibility of the individuals who sit at this table should be taken seriously and solemnly. Again, happy Black History Month.
So I'd like to read the mission statement. We will bring our community together to create a culture of academic excellence and workforce readiness. And the vision statement, we envision a community where all students become lifelong learners. I just wanted to also thank you. I got to have a tour of Parkside Middle School, which was fabulous. John R. Lewis, which was amazing, and also Montessori School. So I thank you to all the principals that led me through. So thank you.
I just want to thank Tara and those who came out to cook us this delicious cuisine tonight, and look forward to continuing to end the year strong at JPS and continue to work on projects together. So that's it.
Oh, we always do that. I just want to say thank you to everybody in classrooms over the last, since Christmas break. You made it through Valentine's Day week, and I know Reading Month is coming up, and just to all of you out there working with kids every day, thank you so much for everything you do, for loving on them, for working with them, for not giving up on them in what is a very challenging time of year. So spring break's coming. Hang in there, and thank you for everything you do.
I got a couple things. I would like to thank Mr. Patterson. I know 9 years ago he started the annual Black History Month celebration of academic excellence with the middle school. It's working amazing. I mean, my son goes to middle school. He's in 6th grade, and he's been hearing from his friends how they want to be in that banquet that we do every year for the last 9 years. And it's a lot of commitment. I know you do get a lot of help from your staff, and it's an amazing program. I would like to thank you for that. And I would like to share this. My family does go to Ann Arbor quite a bit and mingle with families there. And this is a great feedback. They know we talk about a lot about the schools and the education and everything because we all got same age kids. And one of the best feedback we got, these kids of these families go to pretty great schools in Ann Arbor, and they said our schools are doing a lot more than their schools. This is coming directly from a lot of physicians, kids who are attending Ann Arbor schools. That's a great compliment to JPS, especially the elementary schools they were referring to. So I would like to thank all the principals and the teachers for putting a lot of work and doing a lot of great things, including every Sunday call and email we get from the school, which they don't. So thank you.
I just want to take the opportunity to thank the trustees. I think I was a little in first meeting mode last month. So thank you all. I appreciate the opportunity to sit on the board with you. I appreciate everyone being very welcoming and giving me pointers and letting me know that there's a long learning road ahead, and I'm ready for it. And also just to highlight the administrators, the staff, the principals, the parent liaisons at Parkside. They had their parent day last week, and that was absolutely amazing. It was great to be in the school. I was in the school as a parent, and it was just great. It was great for the kids. It seemed great for the staff, and it was great being a parent to be able to follow my kid around from class to class and see what's really going on in the hallways as they're changing classes and when they try and ease their way to the bathroom. So very appreciative parent and board member for that. So thank you for all of the hard work.
So agenda item 11, the calendar. So February 25th, District Improvement Meeting, JHS Media Center at 5. March 11th is our Finance Facilities Meeting at Reynolds Hall at 1. March 17th is our regular board meeting, JHS Media Center at 6. And March 20th is our JHS Ambassador Auction at the Jackson High School Field House at 5. So do I have a motion to adjourn? Do I have support? Support. Okay, thank you everyone for coming out.